For 1,000 years, the Zorath Empire ruled the galaxy. Their name brought fear to every planet, every moon, every living thing. They were tall, strong, and had hard black skin like armor. Their weapons could destroy cities in seconds. They believed no one could stop them. No one dared to fight back. The Zorath believed they were the strongest race in the universe, and nothing could scare them. They had fought many enemies. Some were big, others smart, and some even had advanced technology. But the Zorath always won. They crushed armies, burned planets, and made slaves of the survivors. Fear was their greatest weapon. When the Zorath came, people surrendered, before the battle even started. One day, deep in space, a small Zorath scout ship caught a strange signal. It came from a planet called Earth, a small blue planet near the edge of the galaxy. The signal was simple. Just one short message in an old Earth language, translated by their system. "We're coming." At first, the Zorath laughed. "Monkeys, with fire sticks," one of them said. Earth was a Class C planet home to a primitive species called humans. No warp drive, no planet-killer weapons. They hadn't even left their solar system. What could they possibly do? But the signal kept repeating, "We're coming, we're coming, we're coming." The Zorath High Command grew curious. They sent a group of scout ships to investigate. No weapons, just a team to collect information and observe. The mission was expected to last 5 days. On the 6th day, the Zorath waited for a report. Nothing came, no message, no return. The scout ships vanished. Still, the Zorath were not worried. Perhaps the humans were more advanced than expected. Maybe a black hole or space storm destroyed the ships. So they sent another team, this time with soldiers, trained warriors, the best. This time, a powerful commander named Varkesh led the mission. He had never lost a battle. His body was covered in medals. His name was whispered with respect across the empire. If anyone could deal with humans, it was him. Varkesh's ship arrived near Earth. From orbit, everything looked calm. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds, a peaceful world. Too peaceful. There were no defenses in space, no warning systems, no signs of danger. "We will land," Varkesh ordered. "I want to see these humans with my own eyes." His team landed in a quiet forest. Trees stood tall. Birds sang. The air was fresh. There were no soldiers, no weapons, nothing but nature. It felt wrong. Then the shadows moved. One soldier disappeared. Then another. Screams echoed in the trees, but no enemy was seen. Just silence and fear. Varkesh ordered his men to form a circle. Weapons ready, eyes wide. A voice spoke from the trees. "You should not have come." Blaster fire hit the trees, but there was no target. Just more shadows moving like ghosts. Traps exploded beneath their feet. Smoke filled the air. Red lasers cut through the night. One by one, the Zorath soldiers were taken. Not killed, not destroyed, taken. Varkesh saw something in the smoke. A figure covered in dark armor. Not big, not loud, but fast, silent, like death. "Show yourself," he shouted. The human didn't answer. It simply stared. Then it vanished. Varkesh ordered a retreat. He had never done that before. But something about this place was wrong. These humans didn't fight like any enemy he had faced. They didn't charge. They didn't talk. They just watched, waited, and hunted. The ship lifted off. Only 3 soldiers remained, wounded and shaking. Varkesh looked at their eyes. These were not the eyes of warriors. These were the eyes of creatures who had seen death too close. Back on the Zorath homeworld, High Command waited for a report. Varkesh said only one thing. "They are not what we thought." Then he showed the recording. Blurry images of fast shadows, silent attacks, and strange machines. A red mark appeared again and again. A simple shape. A symbol. A human skull. Fear moved through the Zorath like cold wind, something they hadn't felt in generations. One commander whispered, "They are only human." Varkesh turned to him. No, he said. They are something else. And far away on the blue planet, humans watched the stars. They knew someone had come, and they knew more would follow. They were ready. And this time, they were coming. The Zorath Empire was angry. Their best commander, Varkesh, had returned from Earth with most of his soldiers gone. He spoke of shadows, traps, and humans who did not fight like normal enemies. The High Command did not believe him. How could a small primitive species scare the galaxy's most powerful race? So they sent a larger force, 3 warships, 50 soldiers. This time they would crush the humans and show the galaxy that the Zorath were still in control. Commander Tyrax led the new mission. He was younger than Varkesh, full of pride and rage. He called humans cowards. They hide and run. They don't know real war, he said. I will bring back their leaders in chains. His ships reached Earth in less than a day. Again, the planet looked peaceful from orbit, beautiful and blue. But this time, Tyrax did not land in the forest. He chose a small city. The city was empty. No people, no cars, no movement. The buildings stood tall, but lights were off. Roads were quiet. It felt like a trap. This is a joke, one soldier said. They ran away. No, Tyrax replied. They're hiding. He ordered his team to search every building. They moved through streets and homes. Still no signs of life. But strange things began to happen. Equipment stopped working. Maps changed by themselves. Signals were jammed. Then the voices began. Why did you come here? A voice asked. Go back. You do not belong here. The Zorath looked around. There were no speakers, no radios. The voices came from inside their helmets. Then the first soldier disappeared. 1 second he was walking. The next he was gone. No scream, no sound, just gone. They found his helmet 1 hour later. Nothing else. Panic spread. Another soldier was pulled into the dark by something fast. The cameras couldn't see it. Only a black blur. Where are they? A soldier cried. Everywhere, the voice replied. Suddenly, the skies above the city filled with strange human drones. Small, fast, and quiet. They dropped smoke bombs and released buzzing sounds that hurt the Zorath's ears. Lights flashed in patterns that confused their eyes. They couldn't see. They couldn't think. Then came the traps. Floors broke under their feet. Walls exploded. Machines sent out false commands. They were being hunted, not with brute force, but with strategy. Tyrax ordered a regroup. Only half his men remained. We returned to the ship, he said. But the ships were gone. Only burning pieces remained in the sky. They knew we were coming, someone whispered. Tyrax felt it too. This wasn't war. This was something else. A message. A warning. A drone flew close. It stopped in front of him. A screen lit up. A human face appeared. Calm, cold, and serious. You didn't listen, the human said. Now we will show you. Fear. Then the drone exploded. Tyrax fell back, blinded by the flash. When he opened his eyes, he saw symbols on the walls, painted in red. The same skull mark from Varkesh's report. A human skull, with a message below it. You started this. The Zorath began to run. They didn't care about orders anymore. Fear had taken over. They shot at shadows, screamed at walls, and begged their commanders to save them. Back on the Zorath homeworld, another day passed without a message. No contact. No signal. Nothing. 2 fleets lost. The High Command met in secret. Maybe they have help from another race, one leader asked. No, another replied. They are alone. Then how? They use fear. They use the mind. They are only human, someone whispered. But deep inside, no one believed that anymore. Somewhere in space, hidden from the Zorath, a group of humans watched the reports from their satellites. They saw the panic. They listened to the Zorath. Screams. They're scared now, one human said. Not enough, the leader replied. We're not done yet. The Zorath Empire had lost 2 missions. 2 full teams of soldiers gone. The High Command didn't speak of it in public, but fear was growing in private. Something was wrong. The humans were not what they seemed. They were too quiet, too smart, too dangerous. The leaders of the Zorath decided to stop the slow attacks. This time they would send a war fleet, 10 large ships, filled with hundreds of fighters, bombers, drones, thousands of soldiers. If Earth could not be taken quietly, then it would be taken by force. The mission was clear: invade Earth, destroy all human resistance, and return with victory. The fleet arrived near Earth. Still, the small blue planet looked calm, but this time, there were strange signs. Empty satellites with no signal, dead machines floating in orbit, a silence that felt too deep, like something was watching. The Zorath War Commander, General Reth, ordered the drop pods to launch. Soldiers rained down, across Earth's surface, forests, deserts, cities, oceans. Then the killing began. But it wasn't the Zorath who were doing the killing. It was the humans. They struck fast, from behind trees, under the ground, through the air. They didn't wear uniforms. They didn't fight in lines. They came in small groups, silent, fast, brutal. They disappeared before you could shoot. Zorath soldiers screamed into their comms, "We're surrounded. They're in the buildings. We can't see them. We're being hunted." They tried to fight back, but their weapons were jammed. Maps kept changing. Coordinates were false. Orders were fake. The humans had hacked everything. The Zorath machines worked against them now. General Reth watched from his command ship. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The strongest army in the galaxy was falling apart. Not from firepower, but from fear. One video showed a squad walking through a city. Then the lights went out. One by one, the soldiers vanished. The last one looked into the camera, shaking. "They're inside our heads," he whispered before the feed cut off. The Zorath were used to war, but this wasn't war. It was a hunt, and they were the prey. The humans played with their minds. They left messages on walls, drawings of skulls, sounds of children laughing in empty streets. They played recordings of lost Zorath soldiers begging for help. And when the Zorath followed the sound, they disappeared too. Drones flew above, invisible to radar. Some dropped poison gas. Others sent fake signals. One drone didn't attack. It simply followed a squad for hours, flashing a red light every few minutes. The squad broke down in panic. They killed themselves trying to escape the light. In one forest, a Zorath soldier found a human device. It looked like a small radio. When he picked it up, a voice spoke. "You think we are weak, but you never studied us." Another voice followed. "You wanted to scare us. Now it's your turn." The device exploded. Back in space, one Zorath ship tried to leave orbit. It exploded before it could jump. The humans were already there. No one knew how, but they had reached the Zorath ships without being seen. They were cutting the fleet apart one piece at a time. General Reth ordered a full retreat, but the message was blocked. Only static replied. Then a new message appeared on every screen, across every ship. "Run if you can, but you will never be safe." The High Command received one final message from the fleet. Just a single image, a helmet, cracked, burned. Inside it was the face of General Reth. The screen flickered, then went black. Silence again. Panic spread through the Empire. If Earth could not be taken, if humans could destroy an army without being seen, then what were they? On a hidden base deep beneath Earth, a group of human leaders watched the galaxy in silence. One of them smiled. They thought they were hunters. Another nodded. Now, they know. They are not the only ones who can bring fear. The Zorath Empire was breaking. 3 missions had failed. Thousands of soldiers lost. Their greatest commanders gone. Fear, once a stranger to the Zorath, now walked among them like a ghost. The High Command grew desperate. They needed answers. Why were humans so dangerous? How could a young, small species bring the strongest army in the galaxy to its knees? Finally, they had a chance. A Zorath patrol ship flying near the edge of the Sol system caught a small human vessel. It was a scout ship, alone and damaged. Inside it was one man, unarmed, half-conscious, bleeding. The Zorath captured him and took him to a hidden prison base in deep space. They locked him in a dark, cold room with heavy chains. Cameras watched his every move. Machines scanned his body. The Zorath scientists were excited. "This is what we've been waiting for," one of them said. "Now we will understand what these creatures are." But the man just sat there, silent, calm. His name was Sergeant Alan Wren, age 32. No special rank, no high-level status, just a simple human soldier. The scientists began their work. They scanned his brain, they studied his blood. Everything looked normal, too normal. The Zorath were confused. "He is weak," one scientist said. "His body is soft. His bones are fragile. His heart beats too fast. But his brain," another said slowly, "it's different." They tried to read his thoughts using their mind probe technology. They had done this to many species. The probe sent images into the brain and read emotional reactions. Normally it was simple, but not with humans. When the machine connected to Wren's mind, something strange happened. The machine shook. The screens flashed. The lights dimmed. Then they saw images, terrible images. Fire, war, explosions. Humans fighting each other, killing each other. Starving, burning, surviving. Not once, but again and again. History filled with pain. But also something else. Humans rising again, rebuilding, refusing to die. The machine showed images of children smiling during war, soldiers laughing with tears on their faces, people standing in front of tanks, a man throwing a rock at a machine, a mother holding her baby while bombs fell around her. "What is this?" the lead scientist asked. "Why do they not break?" Then the human spoke. "You wanted to see what's inside us?" His voice was cold and clear. "Then look deeper." The probe went deeper, and what it found terrified them. Humans did not fear pain. They adapted to it. They did not fear loss. They used it as fuel. They didn't run from fear. They learned from it, grew from it. Inside the human brain, there was something no other species had, the will to keep fighting no matter what, and something even more dangerous. Imagination. The ability to think of new ways to fight, to plan, to adapt, to overcome anything. The machine shut down. It couldn't handle more. The lead scientist fell to his knees. "They are not machines," he whispered. "They are chaos." Wren looked at the cameras. "You think we're monsters," he said. "But we're just human. You don't understand what that means." He smiled. "But you will." Later that night, alarms screamed across the prison base. Lights turned red. Doors stopped working. Machines failed. Systems went dark. Someone had hacked the base. A single ship appeared outside. It sent one message: "Give him back, or we take everything." The base commander laughed. "They can't get inside." 10 seconds later, the lights went out. In the dark, human soldiers came like shadows. Fast, silent, precise. In less than 5 minutes, the base was theirs. They rescued Sergeant Wren. He walked out with a smile. Behind him, the Zorath scientist trembled. They had seen the truth. Humans were not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but they were the most dangerous, because nothing in the galaxy could match the power of the human mind. And now the Zorath knew. They hadn't just started a war. They had awakened a nightmare. The Zorath High Command sat in silence. Their great empire was falling apart. Every mission to Earth had failed. Their soldiers were either dead, missing, or broken. The prison base had been taken in minutes. The human they captured, Sergeant Wren, had walked out smiling. They now knew the truth. Humans were not weak. They were not primitive. They were something else. Something worse. something unstoppable. The Zorath had ruled the galaxy for over 300 years. They had crushed rebellions, burned planets, broken minds, but now they were afraid, truly afraid, not of human weapons, but of what was inside human minds. Should we send more fleets? One commander asked. No, another replied quickly. We sent our best. We sent everything, and they destroyed it without warning, without mercy. We still have more soldiers. No, the supreme leader said. His voice was low, cold, and tired. We have fear, and they have turned it against us. Reports kept coming in. Zorath colonies near human space were empty. Not destroyed, emptied. As if the people vanished overnight. Space stations were hacked. Supply ships never arrived. Messages came through Zorath systems from unknown sources. Each one had the same message. You should have left us alone. Then came the worst news. A human stealth ship was seen near Zorath Prime, the homeworld. That was impossible. No enemy had ever reached it. Until now. The planet went into lockdown. The military prepared for an attack. But no ships came. No bombs fell. Nothing happened. Instead, every screen on the planet lit up. A human face appeared. A woman. Calm. Pale. Eyes like fire. She said just 5 words. This is your last chance. Then she was gone. The supreme leader stood slowly. We are being hunted, he said. Not just in space, but in our own minds. They held an emergency council. 2 choices were given. Option 1, fight until the end. Call every fleet. Send all remaining ships to Earth. Burn the planet down, even if it costs everything. Option 2, retreat. Leave human space forever. Sign a permanent no-contact law. Hide, survive. The council was split. Cowards! One general shouted. We are Zorath. We do not run. Fools! Another yelled back. We cannot fight something we do not understand. Then, someone pointed at the giant map of the galaxy. Dozens of Zorath, worlds near human space, were blinking red. Not because of an attack, because they had gone silent. No sound. No signal. Gone. The humans weren't just fighting. They were erasing the Zorath. Quietly. Completely. We are not at war with a race. One, scientists said. We are at war with an idea. The council finally voted, and for the first time in Zorath history, they chose retreat. A message was sent to Earth. We will leave your world. We will not return. Please accept peace. No reply came. For days the Zorath waited. Then a signal arrived, one short message. Stay away, and we'll stay silent. The Zorath accepted. They shut down every plan to invade Earth. They deleted every file. They moved all forces away from human space. And then, they erased the word Earth from all maps. The galaxy watched in shock. The empire that had crushed hundreds of worlds was now running from one. From humans. No one dared ask why. But rumors spread. Whispers in dark corners of the stars about a species that could not be broken, that learned too fast, fought too hard, and feared nothing. Some called them monsters. Others called them a warning. But the Zorath knew the truth. They had started this war, and the humans had ended it. Without mercy. Many years passed after the war. The Zorath Empire no longer spoke of humans. Earth was a forbidden topic. Every map had a blank space where the Sol system used to be. New Zorath soldiers were never told about the human war. History books were rewritten. Silence was the new law. But fear doesn't fade. It hides. One day, a small Zorath exploration ship named Dralek II was traveling near the edge of a dark, unmarked zone. It was a peaceful mission, searching for new resources, scanning empty systems. Captain Norik, an older Zorath explorer, was in charge. His crew was young and they didn't know much about the past. To them, humans were just a myth. Just stories told to scare children, one officer joked. Captain Norik didn't laugh. He remembered. But he said nothing. As the ship passed a quiet moon, the sensors picked up a strange signal. Faint. Repeating. Unknown source, the technician reported. But it's using Zorath code. How old is it? Norik asked. The tech looked again. Very old. Maybe 20 years. The crew was curious. A lost Zorath signal in a dead zone? That made no sense. The ship followed the signal and found something unexpected. A small Zorath satellite floating alone. Burned, damaged, but still alive. It was from one of the lost invasion fleets. No one had seen it since the war with Earth. The crew pulled it in and powered it up. Dusty files appeared on the screens. Video logs, messages, some were broken, others just static. Then, one file opened. A video. The crew gathered around. The screen showed a dark room, broken walls, red lights flashing, screams in the background. Zorath soldier was recording. His face was pale, bloody, eyes wide with fear. He whispered, "This is not war. It's punishment. We thought they were simple, weak. But they are not. They are the storm we should never have awakened." Behind him, a loud noise echoed. Heavy footsteps. Then silence. The soldier stared into the camera. "If you find this, leave. Do not follow. Do not search. Do not speak their name." Then something grabbed him from behind. The screen went black. The crew stood in silence. No one spoke. Then the technician gasped. "Captain, there's another file, not from our systems." "What do you mean?" "It's human." The file was named, "To the next one who tries." The crew hesitated. Captain Norik gave a slow nod. The file played. It showed space. Black, empty, silent. Then words appeared on the screen. "You are not ready." Another line followed. "You came again. That was your first mistake." Then a list appeared. It showed the names of every Zorath ship lost during the war. 1, 2, 3, dozens, hundreds. At the bottom of the list, new words appeared. "This is not fear. This is warning. You wanted to understand us. We showed you our silence." Then the screen changed. A final message. Just one sentence. "Next time we won't be quiet." The file ended. Captain Norik stood frozen. His crew looked at him, waiting. "Delete it," he said. "But sir." "Delete everything. Burn the signal, erase the satellite. We never saw this." His voice was sharp. Final. The crew obeyed. The ship turned away from the dead zone, fast, back toward the core of the Empire. No one spoke again, but in the back of their minds, the message remained. The humans had left a gift, fear, not in battle, but in memory. They had disappeared from the stars. But their silence still screamed, and everyone who saw the message knew the truth. The humans were still watching, still waiting, and the next time someone dared to return, there would be no more warnings. The galaxy had changed. The Zorath no longer ruled. Their empire had faded, broken by fear and silence. New species rose in their place, smarter, faster, more curious. But one rule remained, passed down from generation to generation. Never go near the Sol system. Most obeyed it. Most didn't even ask why. It was just known. The dead zone. The silent stars. The place where maps went blank, but not everyone followed rules. The Varnak were a young rising species. Proud, hungry. They believed they were smarter than the old races. They saw the empty space near Sol as a challenge, a place of forgotten power. Their leader, Commander Trask, stood before his generals. "The stories are lies," he said. "Ghost tales to keep us weak. If there is something there, we will face it." He sent 3 scout ships toward Sol. They never returned. No signal. No wreckage, just silence. Commander Trask grew angry. They must have crashed, he said. We go ourselves. So the Varnak sent a fleet, 20 ships, advanced weapons, shielded systems. They came prepared for war. What they found was nothing. Empty. Space. No ships. No planets. Just a small blue star in the center, and one small planet orbiting it. Earth. Still there. Still silent. The Varnak scanned the planet. Life signs? Yes. Cities? Yes. But no movement. No defense systems. No signals. Not. Even Radio Commander Trask smiled. They've grown soft, he said. Let's wake them up. He ordered a warning shot. A blast near Earth's upper atmosphere. Just enough to be seen. A message. We are here. Nothing happened. No ships came up to meet them. No threats. No reply. The Varnak were confused. Are they gone? One officer asked. Trask shook his head. No, they're hiding. He ordered a dropship to land. A small team touched the ground. They found ruins, empty streets, machines covered in vines, skies gray and silent. The team walked through a city that looked dead. Then they found something strange. A building with no windows, just one door. The team entered. Inside was a single room, white walls, one chair, and a screen. The screen turned on. A voice spoke, not loud, not angry, just calm. You came. The team looked around, confused. They always come. The screen changed. It showed the Varnak fleet, in real time. Every ship, every system, every officer. The voice continued. You came for war, but there will be none. We are still here, watching, listening. The screen showed a file. One word appeared, observe. The team tapped it. They saw images. Old Zorath ships burning, soldiers screaming, satellites exploding, screens filled with names of lost fleets. Then the voice returned. You were warned. By them. By others. You should have listened. Space. Alarms began to ring across the Varnak ships. One by one, systems failed. Weapons froze. Engines stopped. Shields dropped. A single message appeared on every ship. This is not an attack. This is mercy. Then, everything went dark. The ships floated, powerless, lost. Commander Trask sat in silence. No enemies. No battles. Just silence. On the surface, the landing team tried to leave, but their shuttle was gone. No explosion. Just gone. The screen in the white room turned black. Words appeared. This was the last warning. There will be no next time. Then the door opened again. No guards. No force. Just the path back. The team returned to the fleet. Slowly, power came back to the ships, no trace of damage, no trace of human contact. The Varnak turned and left the system without a word. No report was written, no public story told. But everyone on the ship remembered, and the new Varnak rule was passed. Do not speak of Earth. The humans were never seen again. No more messages. No more signals. They had disappeared back into silence. But every race in the galaxy knew. They were still there, still watching. And if war ever came again, it would be the last war. A war never fought, because no one would survive it.